slurp. That. Get the bubbles down your back of your throat. Hello, and welcome to Creative Audit. My name is Caleb. We are sitting down here with Jarrett Raudensky. He's my brother. He's my friend. We're going to get right into something fun here. This is Draw Half. So if you are listening, you're not watching, we suggest you watch because this is a very visual game, and we'll try our best to describe what we're looking at here. But Draw Half is a book that's split into two halves, and one person draws a top on a blank sheet and then folds over a couple pages to hide their drawing, hands the drawing over to the next person, and they finish at the bottom. There's two little hash marks in the center here to tell you where to draw, and that's the game. It's that simple, and you can flip through and make different creations and use the back half. We haven't got to that yet, but Jarrett, would you like to draw first, and would you like the top or the bottom, or would you like to make it a...
Yeah, sure. I'll start. Okay. Let me find a blank page here. I think it's worth noting that if people want to try this, like, all you need is a sheet of paper. You don't need this fancy book.
100%.
You just fold the sheet in half and make the little hatch marks yourself. I don't know who introduced me to this game, but it could have been you. And it definitely had a huge influence on, like, how I enjoyed art, like, growing up.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Like, this whole collaborative effort is something that I've always been, like, that's how I want to enjoy art. It's where I have the best memories in, like, creating things. I have one friend in mind who I grew up with in public school who, like, we were in a lot of the same classes in middle school and high school, and we would just, someone would start a drawing, no verbal agreement made. You just start a drawing.
Oh, yeah.
And you just slip it onto the other person's desk.
They got pretty crude, right?
Like, they got crude, they got complex. I mean, some of these, I've looked back at them. I kept almost all of them. I have a very special folder. And it's in this old, like, green public school work folder, but I'll never throw them out. Like, the one that stands out in my mind is, like, we were both band students, so, like, we drew this big band scene, and there's funny characters, like, playing instruments, like an ant with a saxophone, and, like, this guy at the organ with, like, too many chins.
Right.
And
yours were in Google Sheets or Google Doodle or something, right?
That was the evolution, because we started to, like, you know, our public school started administering everyone, like, these Chromebooks, and we're like, well, everything's paperless now. How are we going to draw together? So we created, and I don't even know if, I feel like Google might have changed the name or merged it with one of their other Office applications, but there used to be this application called Google Drawing.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And it was just literally like a sheet that you could draw with vectors.
Yeah,
and different little, like, mouse tools, and we would just draw with a trackpad mouse in the same document at the same time.
Yeah,
during class, when we shouldn't have.
Right. Yeah. Was it an infinite canvas? Can't remember if it was like you could scroll forever and
you could, like, set the canvas boundaries.
Yeah.
For me, it's always like the funny characters, right?
Oh my.
I find enjoyment from creating more realistic stuff, but I have always been one ever since I was a kid to just draw the funniest looking dude I can. I mean, if you walk away for long enough and you just draw half a drawing, you could play with yourself. Just forget what you made. I mean, I was looking through, it was funny, I had a buddy over and I just set up kind of a studio in my basement of sorts. And I organized all my old stuff. And I was, like, looking through old sketchbooks, and there's so many things, and I'm like, now that I'm looking at this, yeah, I do remember drawing that. I really like that, but also, like, I completely forgot this existed.
Right.
So maybe, you know, you wait long enough.
Right. You have the reps. You have the reps to forget things. Like, I've drawn enough that I could probably. Oh yeah, I could see doing that. But you're probably You're tens of thousands of drawings deep.
All right, I did a top.
All right. I accidentally saw touches. Not the whole thing.
Maybe we should have put the divider up.
Yes, we would do the divider during the special super secret activity coming up here in a little bit. I'm excited. All right. I have some go-tos here. Let me see if I can whip one of them up. Julie, what do you think about AI when drawing?
I've messed around with it because curiosity gets you, and I'm like, well, I'm really struggling to figure out what I'm going to draw.
Right.
And sometimes, like, especially like the imperfect AI image generator engines, like you generate an image and you think it'll come out one way, but the AI just completely messes it up, and it's like, oh, this is something new. Like I was like putting in SpongeBob. And like but these characters would show up that are like, yeah, that's vaguely SpongeBob. If you show this to someone, it's like, yeah, that's SpongeBob, but why does he have like red bumps all over him, and why are his eyes so close together? Like so it almost creates something new in a way. Have you messed around with any of those like image generating AI?
Not in the way that probably people have known about, like what's it called, Midjourney or something. Not like that. But I have used Photoshop's thing to fill in a photograph.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing that
time. All the time. Works beautifully, and sometimes it's horrifying, but most of the time, hey man, can you like literally the simplest thing of, I need like 2 more inches of headroom, and it's bloop, makes it like you've saved this photograph because I cropped it too tight and all that stuff.
It's nice. It's another tool in the arsenal.
It is. Storytellers always prevail, no matter the tools, no matter what's coming. I believe, the book press was supposed to, or the printing press was supposed to be this end to creativity, because you were going to be able to replicate something like, and people, there was this revolt against that. And so I get that this one feels different, but there's always this like, this is the end of creativity. It's happening. We're living through it. It's like, no, you're not. No, we're not. And we never will. But I get why this one feels different.
This one feels like a big leap.
Yeah.
Especially the video ones. Have you seen those?
Oh, yeah. People don't know. Like, I think not to say that you and I have the best eyes, I can tell things, like we can't be duped, but I think we have special eyes. I think a lot of people don't have special eyes and can't see.
You got to pay close attention to some of them. I mean, they're getting so good. But again, I see it as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I really wish I had a little snippet of this B-roll, but I'm off location now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I don't know. It feels a little bit like cheating. I feel that way with just digital art in general. I've always been traditional pencil, paper, put something in my hand.
Yeah.
And just recently, in the last couple years, I got myself a tablet, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
The shortcuts that just make your life easier, but it does feel a little bit like cheating sometimes.
Yeah. When it's doing something for you, not when it's making your job easier, when it's like, I'll fill that in for you, or
make this perfectly symmetrical.
Oh, yeah, okay. I struggled with using painter's tape. We had a project where it was like, you had to be super geometric, and it was in college. I thought that was cheating. Like, I thought that I would get a worse grade if I used, and literally everybody else is like, once you're commissioned to go do the project, tape, lines, rulers, all of it, using every tool possible to light boards. People are sketching faces through, and like, I thought we had to do, like, this is all on us. And
yeah, I realized that really quick too. I did a year in art school, and just having your professors tell you, like, use every tool available to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. I don't doubt that you could take the extra 3 hours to make that perfectly symmetrical.
Right.
But why wouldn't you use the tools available to you? And it's you have to have the mind for it too. It's not necessarily cheating sometimes. You have to know how to use the tools.
Right.
You know, basic math principles and graphing and knowing how to use a protractor, a compass, and how to get those exact little angles.
Right. There is this.
There's a skill.
Yeah, and there is this. Like, if you're a non-creative, non-artist, I think that's where that comes from. Of like, you're cheating because you don't know the craft, you don't know what's going on, and it would be. That's fireworks going on. You hear that?
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Hey, that's when we're filming. In any other like tradesman thing, you would say using that's a power tool. You're cheating. You're just using a hand driver. It's like, well, professionals do these things to do the work quicker, faster, better. All these things. It's really, really similar perspective, a way to think about it.
Yeah.
But college, though, did you have any? I need to ask you first before I go off on my stuff.
Oh, you want me to dive in?
About college, but like, you had a great time outside of what happened to cause you, the thing that you were there for, like this community that was taken from you, right? Like, so 2020 kind of ripped this is a communal event. We're all hanging out, like it's separated.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not here for this. But outside of like it getting shut down on you when you were there for the first year, did you like your professors? Did you like what you were learning?
The one thing that I like to say about COVID when people ask me about college was it was obviously not a good thing, but it had a silver lining to it for me personally.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a disguise. For context, I went to Tyler School of Art in 2019, and my spring semester was the March of 2020, and I really did like my professors, and I really liked the school I was going to. I was learning a lot as a person who loves to get his hands on any new material. Like I can't keep myself busy with one medium.
Mm-hmm.
I get bored and I want to try something new.
Yeah.
So that first year, freshman year, when they make you do all those foundational classes, I was learning so much. I'd only been a 2D artist, and I'm doing 3D stuff, which is like taking me back to my childhood.
Right.
And I really did like my professors. What I didn't like was the price tag.
Yeah. What was it?
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but Temple, somewhere around $30,000 a year.
Please excuse me.
You know, so it's
Wow.
And you know, I don't knock anyone who made it through art school, and I don't think that I regret art school. Honestly, I think I would regret it more if I never tried. But
There you go.
context, you know, COVID hits, and I do that like last 2/3 of that last semester completely remote and online. And doing art class from a Zoom call was about one of the worst things I ever did in terms of enjoyment and my career.
Right.
It was, you know, I think it was a hard time for everyone. So
Yeah, it wasn't. That's not what you were there for. You were
yeah, it's a hands-on trade.
right. And even supplies, right? Like, how did you?
Just all at home.
Because part of the Tyler Art thing is like they have like this mecca bookstore, but it's an art store, and it's like everything you could ever imagine.
Like, example, I was supposed to take a wood shop intro that semester. Yeah, so I was still in my curriculum to take a woodshop intro. And what we ended up doing was we went home and they had us build things out of cardboard in our house with tape, which is just not, I was so excited for that woodshop class. Yeah, but anyway, so it didn't work out. I knew I didn't want to return to school the following year, paying the same tuition for that. Right. So I took a year of leave to like wrap my head around things and figure out what I wanted. And in that year, I kind of realized, you know, how much I was spending for that experience, and not just the tuition and the cost of living there, but all the extra supplies that I needed to supply to even do my homework.
Right.
So I decided not to go back.
Right.
There's so many resources out there for artists now. I don't think that art school is the only path.
No, not at all.
I mean, I don't think it ever was. I think school feels like the only path for some people.
Dude, we could sit here for 2 hours. We really could. I don't even know how to summarize what I think about that. What I know, maybe the best story is I just wanted to go to Votech. I don't even know if we're allowed to call it that anymore, but York Educational, whatever.
Technical school or something. Yeah.
But they had a printing press. So they had like a graphic design thing. They had, actually what I started off there going there for was computer networking. Because I thought, I don't even know why, just learning about NAS, like network attached storage, and how to network a printer.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I thought that would be interesting. I just wanted to go there for one class in the afternoon, and I got scolded so much on, oh, Caleb, I don't know if that's, so even like this super low key alternative was shunned.
There was a stigma around it in high school. Yeah, especially where we went to high school.
Yes, it's very so much so, and guidance counselors against it, and it's later as an adult you realize that some of that's just their training, but then also like they lose money when you go to that school. Like they have to pay. So some of your taxes your parents pay into the program in the school then funnels certain money to whatever, I don't know what the amount is, but the school picks up that bill for you attending whatever classes you attend. So it's like a financial aspect that you never tell you or you don't know about, and that would create some tension of them not wanting you to go there. But yeah, for me, art school teachers got, Caleb, you need to go to Kutztown. Like, that's where you need to go. I was like, okay. I applied to one school, applied to Kutztown. And that acceptance paper, when it showed up, like, I screamed. Like, I remember, like, enjoy. Like, I remember, like, losing my mind because, like, people said, several people that I trusted, parents, art teachers I looked up to, that school you need to go to. And when that school accepted me, I was like, this is what we do.
This is my destiny.
This is exactly. I don't. Deep down, it's like I know it's not. I want nothing to do with school. I hated. I was so like I just finally get your freedom. Cannot wait for graduation. Then you sign it all back away, and you know it's not for you. Like if there's anything that I've learned in the last, so my 20s were about learning how to stick up for what your gut is telling you, what your conscious, because it's not what literally anyone else is telling you. So like, how do you defend your conscience? How do you speak up for yourself? No, it's not for you, and still pursue into the fog, because no one else, if you can barely see it, the light's not even like on for them, right? Like,
yeah, and like it's a tough thing to vocalize that at that point in your life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I only had decided I wanted to go art school like senior year.
Oh yeah,
it was a very late decision. I was like, this is what I want to do.
What were other people? What were they saying? Like you ought to do, or Jarrett, you'd be good at this, or
I was a pretty decent student. I think if I didn't do that, I probably would have like pursued something in the environmental sciences.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love the outdoors, and that was always a peak interest of mine growing up, collecting bugs, telling people when I was like 5 years old I was going to grow up to be an entomologist,
Right.
of all things.
Yes. So you
Because
have
someone taught me that word.
No, let's do one cool story there on that. There's one that your dad always tells about. It involves a refrigerator. You can.
So, bear in mind, I did not try to administer pain and suffering to this bug. I did as much of the humane things as I possibly could to like collect bugs. But I found what I thought at the time was like this cockroach. Found out much later in life that the like slang term for it's this like creek bug that's called a toe biter. And apparently the sting from I don't even think it's called a sting, it's a bite because it's its mouth.
Oh.
Is insanely painful. And I was like 7. I caught this thing. So that could have ended with a trip to the hospital, but it didn't. I got it in a container underneath the bleachers at a high school, and I brought it home. And one of the ways that like I was instructed growing up to like get these bugs ready for pinning is to just freeze them, stick them in the fridge, in the container. They'll die from the cold, and then you can pin their bodies to the foam and add them to your collection.
Right.
This bug was so resilient. And it freaks me out. I mean, you pull him out, he's stone cold, he's not moving a bit. You think he's dead. I put him on the foam, one pin straight through his back, and he starts moving and croaking. And I'm like, oh, that's still very alive.
And then, I mean, did you kill it? Did you try to freeze it again, or did you
No.
just keep?
I mean, I'm a little kid. I just kind of like, well, this is how he goes.
Oh yeah, he has a pin in him, so he's
Yeah.
slowly. He's just slow burn. That's all right. I think most people do way worse thing to bugs.
No, yeah. I mean, I am a lover of all animals, even bugs.
I've seen it. I've witnessed it, and we might witness it here on this collaborative draw half here. Let's put this bad boy together.
Let's see the reveal.
Oh yes, they're always so good. Here we are.
Oh,
I love it.
the hairy toe with the cracked nail.
Ugh. Could you just imagine that being scraped across, getting stuck in a blanket? Oh. It's the worst.
A nice wool sock over that foot.
Let me make sure that
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
it's all about the reveal.
Yeah. Yeah, brother. So you are, we talked about I need to actually speak from the microphone. We talked about like the way we inspire each other, but I genuinely like, there's all things that each of us has our own expression and has our own like 100% capability. And more so I'm trying to say we all have our strengths and weaknesses. We all have our gaps and all these things, but like you possess so many strengths that I wish that I had in the arts. Like, and I know you could probably tell me, and I should take a drawing class. And it's crazy that I'm even like into drawing this month without even like internally believing like I'm good at it.
I'll stop you right there.
Keep going.
You don't even need to take a class.
True. Just do it.
You need a schedule.
Right.
I'm a firm believer that if you just keep up the consistency, you make a routine of drawing, you're going to see the results in less than 30 days.
I believe it. So Jarrett, would you say that like a book that has like daily exercises?
What an absolute master segue.
So like a book, like, I don't know, maybe that's like, one drawing a day.
One drawing a day.
And let's see, like I'm not playing around here. Like I'm going through this. So there's my day one, and this is what drawing kind of is to me. Like so there is a doodle. Am I even on screen here? Let's see. I'll go
Yeah.
to yours. Like there is a doodle, but to me sometimes it involves a lot more journaling than like hardline sketching. And then every now and then, right? It's
That's a good one.
It's just a sketch. People, when I do eyes, they always have sunglasses.
Avoid the eyes.
It's 100%. Straight avoidance. There you go. Last one. So it's kangaroo court.
Kangaroo court.
Yep. Yeah, I should have just jumped into that. So each day has a prompt, and there's little like tips and inspiration down here to help you kind of work through that. But again, this is a book that's coming out August 6th. If this thing makes it to YouTube, there'll be a link in the description, and wherever this thing airs to pre-order the book. This feeds my family. There's the camera. We eat and can buy burgers and can get diapers because of this. I don't have another job. I am all in. That's not a ploy to buy the book. I'm just telling you, like, I believe in this and my life is on the line. Yes, sir.
His heart is into it. And
100%.
you know, I think everyone's a different creative, but I think if you haven't given that routine a try, you should at least look on the internet or wherever.
Yeah.
Because people have this routine documented and published for the internet to look at. And like, I drew for 30 days. Like, see the results. And some artists, it's not for everyone to have a prompt, right? Some people like it a little more free flowing. But I know for me in particular, like sitting down and trying to come up with some random, spontaneous idea in that first 5 minutes when you sit down is nearly impossible sometimes.
Right.
You're not always in the mindset. And I've been drawing since I was a little kid.
Right.
I've been drawing in every little scrap of paper and finding enjoyment in drawing the same old characters and the same things I fall back on all the time can get stale.
Right.
So prompts, I find myself using prompts a lot.
Yeah.
One of the things I was doing this summer to try and get myself to draw more on this tablet I invested in, and I felt so guilty not drawing in. I would like text a friend and be like, give me a drawing prompt.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some really funny and weird drawings came out of it. And I got to try like new tools on the app and like things that I wouldn't have tried if I was just sticking to my comfort zone.
Right. Yeah, 100%. That's a great time to pull up some things you sent me here. Do I have anything from the summer? Yes. Rat Kings.
This is called Mouse Rave. And this idea came from my friend who made me a playlist. And, well, I think she already had the playlist created. And it was her and her sister came up with a playlist of songs that they think that if a mouse threw a rave, this is what they would listen to.
Yeah.
And so we were like laughing about it. And she was like, Jarrett, you need to make that into a drawing. So I did. And I had a lot of fun drawing it.
Yeah.
I have never really drawn a crowd like that.
Look at them. They're interacting. There's a whole kinds of little stories going on here.
Yeah. And a lot of it was reference because, like, I'm not the best at mouse anatomy.
That's pretty good.
So I was, like, looking up pictures of mice dancing together. Yeah, I wanted to do a full, like, digital painting render of this eventually. Yeah. But I am the king of halfway measures and not finishing a project.
No, you're not. I am.
I feel like you might have a more complete body of work than me, though, because, like, I seriously, like, I have a commission sitting in my basement right now.
Okay.
I have yet to finish. And a pleasure painting that I started last week that I haven't touched since the first day I worked on it.
Yeah. That's new to me.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a new style for you, too.
Yeah, I've been trying to draw more like tattoo-oriented digital pieces.
Yeah.
It's something I'm super interested in. I love the art form in it. And there's like a few styles that I want to be able to know how to draw. So I've been, in particular, American traditional is like something that I personally like. So I'd like to be able to replicate it. And even if it's not like you know, perfect to the T, following every rule of American traditional.
Sure.
I don't mind. It's going to have my own flair to it. Some people will hate that, but
I think that's the whole thing with tattoo, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that one was a prompt from Kyle.
All right on.
Yeah.
It's like almost, it's a little bit Rango, a little bit not.
A little bit Rango.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and then this mural, I remember this. I don't remember what from though. This is high school.
I just painted that on a whim. That wasn't even a project or anything. That was just for my enjoyment.
Yeah, but high school though, right?
Yeah, that was high school era, if not early college.
Yeah. And then your parents let you put a mural in the back of your house.
Bless my mother.
What do you think about that?
One of those moments that you look back at and like you're just like so happy that it took a little convincing, right? But the fact that she supported me in that way and gave up a exterior wall on the back of her house so that I could throw up faces.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very touching.
Yeah, I have a story about one time where I didn't feel like you were supported. It was in high school. I had to be really careful with this one.
There's a few of those.
I graduated high school and college not knowing anything about the field that I currently work in, video production. Like I didn't even know that was an option. So I can't be so mad at people for. I'm prefacing this story with a lot of grace because I can't be mad at people for not. Can't be mad for people who don't know.
People know what they know.
Right.
You know.
But you were showing, I think, a piece that you actually sent me here. This one. Yeah, dude. It's literally this piece.
First piece I ever sold.
Yes. And I think at the time you hadn't sold it, and you had asked if you should, or if you don't want to, or how much.
Yeah.
And I said like a number that was several $100s. Like maybe it was less than 1,000, but I had said like maybe $700 or something.
You want to know how much I sold it for?
Please tell me $700.
$100.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a kid.
No, that's all right. For a first piece?
Looking back on it, should I have asked for more? After the tireless hours that I put into that, staying up late at night, cutting out those stencils with an X-Acto knife. I mean, I even had to, I had to recruit my mom to help me cut out the stencils so I can make the deadline.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth more than $100 in just effort alone.
Sure.
But I put it up in my high school art show, and someone else's dad, apparently he collected a few pieces and had them up in his house, and he left me a note in my little comments box and was like,
"Don't stop.
I want it.
Okay.
What's your price?"
Right on.
So,
yep,
$100. He was like, steal. I bet he has things in his house worth so much more than that, from what I hear.
Sure.
So, yeah. But yeah, it was a really cool experience to actually have someone look at your art and be like, I would buy that. Right off the shelf.
So you're in this room with people, and I said this number. I think I said like, it was just you and I talking, but people overheard, and I said you should sell for $700, and there was audible like gut laughter. Yeah, but like serious, and like they thought I was joking, and it made me be like, what? Like it broke my heart. For you. And
hey, I don't remember. Maybe that influenced me, but that was a long time ago. And
it got me because at that time, that's when I was starting my career in video. And it's like, that painting has to cost $700. Like, it's not that it worth or value or time spent, what have you, like, it's $700 because it needs to be, not even because it might be worth it. Like, and that's where I think, I'll zoom it back in here. I took a note of like, pricing something based off the amount of time it took you can be a trap it can be a trap in your thinking of like, this is valuable because I spent time on it. It's like, no.
And
I know you're not saying that.
The flip side of that is like, you're really good at something, you charge an hourly rate, but you're so good at it that you do it really quick, and now you get less money.
Yeah.
So there's a balance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when you look at the piece, that particular piece, it's not something that your average Joe is going to be like, wow,
Yes.
that's photorealistic drawing that took hours and hours and hours. No, that's a creative expression of
Right. Behind
the
someone's
kinds
heart.
of things that have inspired me over the years.
Yeah.
And I think you look at it and you don't know how it's made either.
Right.
I had my concept sketches. That piece is big.
Yeah.
It's really big.
Yeah.
And I cut out these big old stencils and I did spray paint. And that was the first time I'd ever done that. I used like some spray paint graffiti street artist tricks to get that background.
Right.
You ever see those videos of the guys
The
who like
pots.
they're just standing there with a piece of paper and they make like a little outer space scene with
right.
nothing but like paper plates
Yep.
and like
Newspaper folded up in these.
yeah, that's how I did the background.
Yeah.
And so it's just like little things like that influence you. And so like this piece is something that is a collection of things that I like
Right.
and I learned.
Yeah. Yeah. So where do you find yourself now? Do you, let's not ask that question quite yet. Let's answer the first question I asked. I was about to trail into, are you happy with where you're at? But answer first, like where you're at and in career-wise, like what is art meaning to you now? Are you?
I think right now, in my current stage of life, I've picked up what you would consider a normal job. I spent a lot of years not knowing what I wanted to do after I dropped out, just kind of making money, being creative here and there on the side. I spent a lot of time trying to turn my creativity into a career to the point where I was like stressing myself out a little bit. Just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Sure.
Did I tell you? And during that COVID year, I filmed
Yeah.
an entire video
Yeah.
of the entire process from sketch to finished painting of a painting of this troll head that I did. And I got
You had a whole YouTube studio, everything.
yeah, I built a mini studio in my bedroom in my parents' house. I set up the walls, I bought lights, I bought tripods. I mean, I invested into this project, this halfway measure.
Yeah.
And I still have all the raw footage untouched, never edited.
Can I suggest something?
Go back and edit it.
Delete it. Delete all of it. Like burn it. Like take this. There's nothing that's been more purifying to my life than taking these, because dreams can, as much as they can set you free, they can strangle you. And these so deleting it. There's footage and pictures that I want to edit someday. I want to do something with, and they sit there on the drive, and I can be 1,000 miles away. I can be on a family vacation, knowing that file is sitting there, can randomly, hey, buddy, you didn't finish me yet.
Come back.
Yeah, come. It's SpongeBob, right? Come back.
But yeah, like I stressed myself out about it, and there was this like level of unhappiness where I was unhappy with where I was in life outside my career and in my career. And
Yeah.
I think I was pushing a little too hard and wanted something to just materialize out of my creativity that would make me money.
Right.
Or at least force myself to be creative all the time. And it would become this job and not a hobby.
Right.
And I still look forward to incorporating my creativity into my career in the future. I still have goals, but I think I've taken a step back in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Reoriented myself,
Yeah.
kind of put myself first.
Yep. I witnessed it. It's good.
So now I have a normal job, and I still have a studio in my basement that I work in.
Yeah.
I just got my first tattoo machine this year.
Right.
I got things I want to try. Like I think for me, where I'm at right now, my creative journey has led me to this point of realization that brings us back to what we were talking about right at the beginning of this episode. I love being creative with other people.
Yeah.
Being creative alone, for me, in my personal life, it just gets stale. My best memories are working with people.
Yeah.
One of the most recent things that I did was I went on a date.
Okay.
And not just any date. I saw this like trend on the internet. And I was like, you know what? Like I've always wanted to try that anyway. So I went to Michael's and I picked up a bunch of oven baked clay,
Okay.
armature wire,
Don't know where this is going.
foil.
Haven't seen this trend.
It was a clay date.
Okay. Like
I put on a cartoon show from my childhood for background noise,
Yep.
light-hearted, and we just built funny little characters out of clay.
Okay, they have like little wire under frames.
Yeah.
Oh.
Baked them in the oven, and now I have little knickknacks that I made.
It's a clay bake.
I've never, and you know, after all these years, like I've never done that.
Yep. Yep.
Sure, I did something similar when I was a kid or elementary art school, but like I've never like as an adult taken the time to just like do something fun, because like the barrier of entry there is like, am I gonna go to the store, buy all these supplies, come home and do it alone? Some people like that, and I don't knock anyone who find happiness in being creative in solitude, but for me, that activity with someone, being creative with someone else, I mean, that's where I find joy in the art that I make these days.
Let's cue up the spot here. What I mean is that the most fun for me in what I do now is coincidences, or like just in the moment, things that shouldn't be, things that just feel like for you. Like the world is filled with so many people and there's so much experience out there, but it's like you're being spoken to, you're being talked to, and it's like only you are seeing this, experiencing this. And I got to have some of those moments out in Oregon, like when I was filming with the drone, and I bawled my, like, I'm not even kidding, like I bawled my eyes out. Cause like it was just so beautiful, and like no one else was there witnessing it. And maybe it happened the next day, like the mountain was just as foggy and the sun was just in the right place again. And someone saw a similar thing, but no one saw the thing that I saw. Only I saw that. And like, it's just like, oh, was I watching? So let's watch the.
Let's see it. Wow.
Yeah, buddy. So again, we can't see this. You can't hear it as you and I are watching it, but you know, it's ocean waves, and it's just that low hum, just churning of the waters, and it's beautiful.
That's not art, brother. I don't know what is.
You don't, but you don't get those moments. Because I feel like I have a perspective now that's so raw and dry, and it makes people think that I don't have grace or heart, or I don't like agencies. Or
are you saying because like your perspective, like, well, maybe this isn't art?
You just turn it into a job. I mean, you are being hired for a set number of time, set hours. You sold your time to that business, and so treat it that way, because that's the way that they're treating you. So don't give your heart, because they don't even know that they asked for it. But you're the artist. You're sitting here. They asked for my best and my creativity, and you're out here like expressing. You're doing so much. You're doing the fullest because you feel like you're just a good person potentially. But like that's your soul, and you're like, it's like, bro, I didn't buy your soul. Don't give it to them. Like, so if you can sustain and turn it into a job and see it as a creative problem each day of like, how can I give 70%, make it look like 100? Like, that's a creative solution. How can I give 50%? Or how can I drive? What is the client asking for? How can I produce that and retain, go home at night and not think about this place, or make my boss make me do overtime, or, and I couldn't find that line. I could not bring my fullest self.
I think, do you think that any kind of commission work feels that way? Or do you feel like because of the media that you work with, the medium that the tools you use to capture emotion, visuals,
Sure. I think it's how
are in that digital realm that,
if I think I know what you're asking,
because
it's how
any artist is capturing,
right.
if it's visual art you're talking about, you're capturing a feeling along with this visual. And if you're a musical artist, you're capturing a certain sound that they want and the feeling that comes with that.
Right.
And, if I get commissioned to do a 20-foot painting of R2-D2, I'm not going to love that.
Right. Yeah.
So if you get told to shoot a certain shot a certain way, I mean, I guess that you could make that argument for all sorts of commission work.
Right.
But do you feel like your work in particular has you feeling that way? Because
I could stomach the R2-D2 20-foot thing. I can. There's things up and down that I currently do. I hope and pray a call comes in next week for a job that I'm not super passionate about, because I love working with people, and I collaborate with them and what they want, and we can see to it that we make it, and we can all have a joyful, wonderful experience the entire time. It's when you're doing someone else's vision, you're making the thing you're not passionate about and being belittled along the entire process. You're being coached, but it's just sandpaper, and you're like, I'm just tired of being 320 grit. I'm good, dude. Like I thought we were just here to do what you said, to paint R2D. I thought that's what we were here to do. And it's like, oh, we're also here to get whipped. We're also here to be told that we suck, or we're not enough, or that we expected there to be more of you, or, dude, if I'm not here just to paint, I can, and it's also the money. And money is a piece of it that I think I often forget to talk about. Like, was not paid that much. Like, you were, the emotions were, the culture wasn't there. So, the culture's not there. The money's not there. Meaning, like, some people put up with really bad jobs and bad cultures because they maybe have a 6-figure thing, or the opportunity's great. It's like, yeah, it sucks, but if I do this sucky thing for 3 years, it's like, I'll be out of debt, or then I'll move on, and I can grind now. Dude, I got paid $37,000 my first job. It's like, why would you ever? You can make that at Walmart. You make at these places. You can find different people. If at the end of the day, the place is sucking your soul, and it's $37K, you can go find work anywhere that can pay you $37K, and you can keep hopping around until you find the culture and your people, and it's gonna take time to do that. But that was kind of my perspective of, like, it's just not worth it. Like, what I sold myself for was not worth it. And there's so many things there that I could trail off into to no end. I really could. And
hey,
it's gonna be great.
You're talking to a guy with a normal job. One thing that I always like to just, like, in everything that I do in my career and my jobs, like, they always tell you, like, you gotta fail. You gotta fail because you're gonna learn.
Yeah, inside the job, they tell you
you
that.
also gotta let you also gotta let happen. You gotta let other people fail you, because that is, like, so much of the job is other people in any work you do letting you down and seeing how you bounce back from that. Not only letting yourself down. That's life.
Boom. Mark that clip.
But little callback. You're in it for the long run.
Yes.
It's from a previous episode.
I could get into
Taking
that,
the
but
beaten path is easy.
yeah,
So when you want to do things your own way, it's gonna be hard at first.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, going back to the video that I never edited, it was forced. It was with a little bit of panic. Like, I need to make this thing. I've already committed to this project. And I feel like now, I still feel that sometimes. I have projects that I like, oh man, I really need to be working on that. But I've accepted that there's no rush. Like I said, I got my first tattoo machine. I'd love to get an apprenticeship somewhere. Sure. Start tattooing real people. And maybe it just becomes a side thing for a little while I keep this job that I have. And maybe it happens a month from now. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to be too pressed.
Yeah.
And before, I would have been.
Right. I'm not doing enough. I'm not.
Yeah.
This is
like
you have way more things, and just new thoughts. You have new ideas about things, and why are we not getting into the intricacies of office culture? And
I got a tool belt, and art is just
It's
just one of.
Yeah.
So I used to define. I think you know what. All of that is like a subconscious label.
Right.
When you go to art school and you tell yourself you're going to be an artist. But I look at people all the time who, they still, and this is not for everyone. Everyone makes a different path and everyone makes a different career out of their creativity. But there are people in our lives that we know that like it's a side thing.
Right.
It is a hobby.
Yeah. It's not the first thing you think about when you think of them.
They still make money off of it.
Sure.
They still make something out of that. They're not doing it for just their pure enjoyment sometimes. Mm-hmm. There's this balance that you need to have with your own creativity. Which projects are you willing to do for money and which ones you aren't?
Yeah, you can't. Right, you couldn't pay me enough to do that because that's my.
Or you could for about 6 months before I get really sick and tired of it and hate it and not want to do it again.
Right.
And I feel like you and I have had this conversation so many times where like when I was mentioning before, like I just can't stay on one thing. I love trying new things. Like I just love picking up something new.
Right.
I think part of that is why I love making things.
Yeah.
It is adding another tool to my toolkit.
Right. Yeah.
Trying oven baked clay, and I really want to try rug tufting. That looks like so much fun, dude.
Yeah.
I see people make these custom rugs. Oh.
Yeah.
I want a custom rug in my room.
Right. And why can't you? I think we're both very much that way. I might have to market myself video production because it keeps the lights on, right? You have to. Yeah. You do have to do that. And the rug tuft guy can't post a picture of a clay pot. He can't. Or unsub came here for rugs. Not
the algorithm didn't like that one.
No, right? Like that's a different story. We don't have to get super into it, but I feel like you and I would be great art teachers. I really do. And I think someone has actually told me that. Several people have told me that. And I'm like, maybe that's kind of what this kind of sort of is.
You're having that awakening that the art teachers already had. Man, if I just become an art teacher, I get to make my own curriculum, basically. Right. I get to teach these kids all these fun projects that I just want to try myself. And I get to buy all this equipment for the school.
But there's only, one art teacher per building? Like, come on.
Internet art teacher.
Right? In a way, like this pseudo thing. So in your future, I don't think you have a. Well, tell me I'm wrong, but a graphic designer wants to be a graphic designer at whatever brand, or like, I want to work at this company. You don't have that. And
I
you're not a graphic
do.
designer, but it's tattoo.
I do, and then I don't. And then I do, and then I don't. In the same way that I can't pick one thing to just put my all into that craft. I mean, everyone has fleeting, passing dreams. I mean, for a while, I was like seriously looking into like stop motion animation.
Right.
Having like an actual skeleton puppet with the full posability, and you build a character on it, and you have it on the rig, and like that was something I was so interested in, and spending days on YouTube looking at that stuff.
Yeah.
And then tattooing is my recent obsession. I love getting tattoos. I love the art. I love the expression of literally wearing the art on your skin. You know, I just collect tattoos because I think they're cool.
Right.
My tattoos, the ones I have, don't have a whole lot of meaning.
Yeah.
I find an artist, you know, come to think of it, every tattoo on my body is done by a different artist so far. And it's not because I don't want to go back. This is just a collection. It really is to me. Like in the same way that people collect art in their house,
it's on my skin.
I'm collecting art on my skin. And I think that culture there is so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been my recent obsession, and I'd love to be good enough to actually do it on people and be proud of myself. So yeah, I think that's, I mean, if I had to choose one thing in the next 5 years to get good at, that would be it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're at a spot? Are you nervous that you don't have this? This is what I'm, for the next 3 years, I'm going to.
I used to be. I think a lot of those fears come with, you know, a little bit of rumble in your life, a little shake, just a little bit of instability where you're like, oh no. I feel like that can really motivate those fears. And I feel like right now, I'm happy where I am.
Yeah, dude. And you're landing after lots of rumbling.
Yeah.
Because let me land the plane. We have to deboard. We have to reload the snacks.
Pit stop.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I do like being creative, but I need to find where that's going to fit into my life in a healthy way.
I'll put it to you this way. When someone asks you, like, so what are you doing, man? And like you feel like you have to say more than what you are doing. Do you feel that way?
Yeah. You know, people want to get to know you, and they ask you, like, even at my like normal job, people ask me, like, what do you do outside of work? What do you like to do? And I like, for a little bit, I was like telling people, oh, I'm an aspiring tattoo artist. And that's such a label. It's like, no, I'm not really that.
Yeah. All right, Doug, because you're going on blind dates, you're going with girls, yes. How does that, what, you've been able to test a few different things.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I think this is so boring, but just honesty. And I don't even think it's just honesty with the person. It's honesty with yourself. Like, I'm not an aspiring tattoo artist. You could call me that, but I just want to learn to tattoo. That's the honest truth. Yeah. And I might be really good at it. I might be really bad at it.
Right.
I'm going to give it a shot, just like I gave every other creative outlet in my life a shot.
Yep.
You know, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Right.
So,
yep.
I'm a manager at a grocery store. That's what I do. And I make art on the side for my enjoyment. And I also love making art for other people's enjoyment.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
that's the dream.
I don't know. Is it?
I think so, because you're also debt free, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a
Well, you know, a lot of financial stuff this year with the move and everything. But yeah,
Sure.
I mean, yeah. And I think the other barrier there is like being comfortable in leading yourself, because that's a scary thing. You know, letting go of the safety net and saying, okay, this is my show now. So,
Right. Which is a whole new thing to walk into. People helps a lot. Friends that will tell you the truth.
mm-hmm.
And
Hey, you got skill points, and you got like 100 different categories that you can put them in, but you only have so many. So when you fill up a certain bar all the way and leave one bare,
right, your player, your character, yeah,
the grass is quite literally always greener.
right, yeah.
So
It's I don't know, man. I just don't want you to keep thinking of your normal job or what have you, and have any shame. And like you said, just walk into these relationships with truth, with where you're at and what's going on. You wouldn't want to be with someone that you start off with a lie with, and
you know, not necessarily a lie, but just like
an aspiration or
like
a better frame,
not the whole truth.
right?
But yeah, and that's something I've learned relatively recently. Like, my job isn't super glamorous, but I found a job that I like, and I work with people, and I work with people I really like.
Yeah.
And if I can make their day better and the work environment better, which literally is my job, then I get fulfillment out of that. So if you can just find a little bit of fulfillment in what you do.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna do one more activity,
Let's do it.
and Jared, explain what we got going on here.
All right. So we got one more activity this episode. Caleb, he saw this viral video that I'm sure a lot of you have seen too. There's a lot of them out there right now of a couple sitting down with a divider in between them, and they paint each other's portrait and reveal at the end. And there are some really good ones, and there are some hilariously
Just
Picasso-esque paintings. And I have a feeling with the time constraint that he just set for us,
15 minutes.
we might get some interesting ones here.
Okay.
15 minutes, to my dismay, we are going to have our little paint date, just like my clay date.
Wall's going up.
Make sure you don't get... Yeah.
What am I stuck on? There it is.
Paper towel.
All right.
All right. Looks pretty good.
Locked in.
Let me know when you hit brush down. Let me know when you hit that timer.
Your time begins in 3, 2, 1.
All right. I have a vague kind of plan. Oh, wait. We're doing this one at a time.
No, I'm just looking at you,
Oh.
taking it all in.
I was like, you're just going to watch me do this?
Okay.
15 minutes is a hard restraint with paint, too, because, like, I don't have
dry
time
Yeah.
to even let a little bit of this dry.
Gonna be my lover. Oh, sorry. We're listening to music in our headphones. Listen to those drawing sounds. ASMR.
Oh, yeah, the scratch of my brush. Oh, you're drawing.
A little bit.
I
Probably
feel
don't
like
have time
I
to.
feel like that's kind of cheating, right? No, you're fine. I'm just dogging you. I'm just going right for it. I don't think you understand how little time 15 minutes is.
I just needed the bass.
Yeah, those are some pretty big headphones you got on there. I also just think that no amount of sketching is going to make this better for me.
Nope. Not me either. Just need the
That's not like that at all. Oh, brother.
Jarrett, I did a self-portrait. Oh, boy.
You did a test run without me?
No.
Oh.
8 years ago. I've never painted a face since because it was something. My professor, I don't know how he held his laugh back. Yeah, I deserve nothing but like. Caleb, you're in college. This is painting 3. You shut up with this.
Hey, everyone's got their own skill set. I mean, I did a little bit of painting in like my 2D foundation class, but I have technically never taken a painting class. Oh, I can already tell where this is going wrong. This is going to be expressionist.
All right, buddy. Here we go. Sketch in these colors. Who chose these colors?
That would be our host, our loving host. This is going to be interesting.
These are cheap paints. Like you can barely sticking. Uh, 12 minutes.
Oh, shoot. Okay. I need to give myself a little bit more time for the... Oh, I don't need to paint that in right now. I guess I do need a rough idea. Oh. Oh, no. This isn't going to look like you at all. It'll have your vague characteristics.
Yes. I got a little, like a skinwalker going on over here. You believe in that? Skinwalkers? You heard of that?
Skinwalkers? Is that like fake people inside of other people, right?
Wait, then what am I
They're
thinking
like
of?
taking up this. They're like, it's like you think it's someone, but it's not actually. Is that what you're talking about?
It could be. There's something that like this kind of human, not human thing that like.
Yeah, it's like a creature that's
Yeah.
pretending to be a human.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Then that's
right?
what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I think I'm gonna switch it up here and get a little bit crazy.
We're gonna need to go to 30 just so this paint can get dry and get a second layer.
You're not gonna be able to. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're just
going.
Gonna work with these constraints.
Yep.
And if the paint mixes a little, that's okay.
Yeah. It's all part of the show. Part of the experience.
Because my approach is very much taking in the fact that you set this restraint, and if you change it,
Don't you dare.
don't you dare. I'm committed.
But mixing colors, we can do that, right?
Yeah, you
a little
can
spare-
mix colors if you want to waste the time color matching. I'm not gonna stop you.
Just tonality, you know?
Little dry brush action here.
You want me?
Little undertone. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm being a bit ambitious with this right now.
I gotta stop humming the song in my head. Got any water over there? Oh wait, I'll just switch brush. We're good.
I'm forgetting everything they taught me in art school.
About.
Layering paint.
Oh, shoot.
And it's just coming to me now, all the mistakes that I made. That's okay. We're redirect here. And we are going to give me a quick little look up. Captured. Oh, shoot.
Sorry.
You're losing it.
You look great.
Yeah?
You look just so good.
I stand by it. This is not going to look like you, but it'll be a person.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. If I just had a moment for my base layer to dry,
Nope.
I could really spin this into something. 7 minutes. Yikes.
7 minutes? Oh my gosh, Caleb. Too much paint.
What's new in your world?
New in my world? Well, I did just get a new pet.
What? Oh, the snake?
Yeah, I got a snake. I adopted it from a retiring middle school teacher who had a classroom pet he didn't want anymore. Okay, we're going to transition this into this. And this is just going to be your hair color now.
How do you find a pet like that?
Actually, my mother is a school teacher and is a coworker with, for people who are listening, is a coworker with this teacher. He's a science teacher who has a pet snake, very original. But yeah, he didn't want her. He's retiring. He wants to travel more, so I volunteered for the job.
Did it come with any supplies?
Yeah, it came with a tank, and I spruced it up though. You know, I couldn't help myself. It's another way that I express my creativity. I do really like building enclosures for animals and custom ones. There's people online that I watch build these awesome, like, custom terrariums, and I did it first for my lizard, and it's really fun. It's like sculpting and painting all in one.
And you do like live, live plants and everything, right?
I've tried in the past. It depends on the pet. And if you do the right amount of research, right, you can figure out which ones are going to work. But like my lizard, for instance, is it's a true gecko with like sticky toe pads and jumps around like a frog. So she just absolutely demolished every plant in there by just trampling them. So I have switched to fake plants these days, but it still looks nice. Yeah. I put the effort to make it look like the environment they come from.
You live by like one of the coolest pet stores too.
Yeah.
That fish place. That pet place.
It is really quite awesome.
People use that, and I say people, I mean me, as a free aquarium.
It is, really, and you can go pet the stingrays. I have literally just gone there as an activity. But I'm also a rewards member, so I go for the cat food too. boy.
3 minutes and 31 seconds.
Oh gosh, eyeballs.
Jared, I think I'm done.
You think you're done already with 3 minutes to spare?
I mean, I don't know how this, hey, I don't know how this can get any better. This is just something special here.
It's might be the best thing you've ever made.
Wish I made room for your body. Just got a head going on over here.
Well,
225.
your proportions are way off.
Dang it.
Think I. Oh, I should give you pupils so you don't look so scary. How much time?
208.
Oh no, the pupils made you more scary.
I'm just going to be honest with you. I made your glasses reflective. Let's go ahead
There
and
you are again with those.
skipped right over the eyeballs.
Skipped right over the eyeballs. Should have known.
Really wish I hadn't, because really could have been something. I put the shadow on the wrong side. One, two, three left. Oh my goodness, you need eyebrows. I'm not done.
Oh, and you know, I've been painting this whole time while leaned back slightly, so it looks even weirder from straight up and down. Whoops.
57 seconds.
I don't know. Oh, gosh. How can I make this better? Nope, that made it worse. That definitely made it worse. Fix it, fix it.
This. Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
This is,
no, I in the last minutes here, maybe I can salvage this.
It's like, is this you or just a face?
Okay, okay, fix this, fix this. Quick, quick, quick. Uh-oh. Okay, okay. We
17 seconds.
made a bit of a recovery there. My paintbrush rolled onto my painting.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Pencils, brushes down.
Brushes are down on my palette.
All right, let's move these supplies over here.
All right, I will reveal.
So let's go. Yeah, you can just hold it up in front of you. Yep, that'll work.
Just to the camera and then show you.
No, just to you, yeah, because that camera is picking you up. So you just go
Oh.
right on your chest.
All right, this is Caleb, as is, live in the studio. I realize I forgot the cord from his headphones. But 3, 2, 1.
No, dude. Let's go. I'm hanging that up.
It's going in the studio.
Dude, that's incredible.
15 minutes.
That's something. And you were not held back by these paint colors. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show you what's happening.
I mean, I tried to do what I've been taught. Light color, pick a dark color. It doesn't matter what tones they are. It's more about the value, right? I don't know.
I'm going to go ahead with what you said is correct, because whatever method I used. Are you ready for this? All right, here we go. That's great.
That's a keeper too. I think they both go on the wall. Wow. I mean, honestly, in the colors, I think they worked in your favor there. That is a nice palette you got going. Dude.
That's beautiful though. That really could be something.
Wow.
I mean, it really is something. I did forget the headphones. Dang it.
You really did smash my hair and goatee look.
That's all I had to go off of because it's what you.
And I've got it all covered up right now.
Yeah, I had to go through the hat. The hat perspective was messing with my brain.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Your scribbles.
Yes.
Both of these, like, you know, like we're knocking on them because it's not like what you imagine when you paint a perfect portrait. But like, you're right. You know, like for a 15-minute exercise, I should stop sketching so much and just pick up the paint.
There you go.
So
yeah,
I got blank canvases in my basement that are begging for paint, and I just don't do anything with them because I want it to look so good.
Right.
So
just have at it.
Just throw it down.
Right. This is 15 minutes.
This is 15 minutes. You set aside an hour. You can be much better than this and still.
Yeah. Just treat it like a thumbnail.
Wall worthy.
Yeah.
You don't need to meticulously plan out every detail. You do it 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
You get better every time.
Yeah, dude.
It is. It's, you know, not being afraid to waste those expensive materials you bought.
Sure.
Not being afraid to make something you might not like.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's not in your mind's eye, as people say.
Because, like, I was looking at this when I was finishing. I'm like, wow, this looks like 15 minutes. And you were like, what?
Yeah. Right.
And I felt the same. Like, that is seriously that. Like, I want to put that up in my house. I aspire to be that man.
That's so good. Oh,
I want that sun-kissed skin and. It's good. It's good.
So if we have you back, if you're back on the show, 2 weeks, a month, what have you, 6 months, I want you back. Please come back. But when you're back, what do you want to be different? What can you be focused on in your time away from the show?
I think from now till the next time I see you, hopefully I'll just, you know, kind of do what we did here and forget the stresses of making something and just make something. I've got a painting that I half started in my basement right now, so maybe I'll at least, you know, put paint on the canvas by then.
Sure.
Got it all sketched out. Maybe do some more clay. I really had fun with that clay the other night, and like I literally just spent maybe 30 minutes making a little guy.
Right.
And he turned out great.
Now he's frozen, right? He's locked in.
He's this little fish man with no body. His head is his body. He's got little fins and really long legs, and he's wearing a toupee. I just remember growing up, my mom literally had like a craft bin for me. And anytime she had something weird, like an egg carton or something, she'd be like, "You want this for a craft?"
Right.
Like a toilet paper roll.
Right.
Something that people just normally throw out, but something that
It could be something.
a little kid
Yeah.
could turn into something.
Right.
Big box, we get a new whatever.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a big box with it. You want this for a craft? And the answer was always yes. So maybe from now to the podcast, I just need to say yes to more crafts. I need to make.
Yeah,
I love
crafts. Think of them as crafts.
I love drawing characters, and to be able to just sit there and make a 3D little character that
Yeah.
came out of my oven.
Yeah.
That's a new.
I was thinking making gingerbread man over here. Like,
Yeah, like a gingy.
Yeah.
And so I think I just need to do that more.
Yeah.
And you know, part of that is just finding the people to do it with, right? Because that's
You want to do it
That's
in
what
a
I love.
collaborative sense.
Yeah.
Here you go. I'll double down on you. We're gonna come over, and that's what we're gonna do with you. Clearly
I have
with you.
Too much clay. I bought
cadence.
too much clay for my clay date. Come make clay people with me.
Let's do it. Locked in.
I got all the supplies.
Done. Well, that's a good way to send it off, dude.
This was too much fun. I had too much fun tonight just
Yeah.
making things and being creative with someone, which is
Done.
what I love. So
There it is.
I'll be back.
Dude,
You don't owe me anything. You already gave me so much in terms of this
this
way to express yourself.
was worth the drive.
Yeah. But I mean, throughout all the time I've known you,
Yeah.
you've given me experiences in this creative field that no one has. So,
My man. Yeah. Jarrett's on the wall.
That is me. Oh, the one mic is blocking it. Yeah, that's me under those trees.
There he is. Beautiful. Yeah, that was a fun little trip.
That was an awesome trip.
We will be back. I guess I'll touch on that. Thank you for coming, Jarrett. We'll see you on the next one. Maybe we'll do it at the beach.
Oh, beach pod.
All right, dude. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.